Hello, everybody, and welcome on YouTube. Today we're going to read a chapter or a section of a chapter from Checklist for a Perfect Christmas by Judith Blahnik. Now, this was published by DoubleDay, Division of Bantam, DoubleDay, Dell Publishing Group Incorporated, 1540 Broadway, New York, 10036. It's copywritten 1996 by Judith Blahnik, all rights reserved, and we're going to do some audio on that. Part 1, Christmas Plans and Checklists. Chapter 1, The Perfect Christmas. What is the perfect Christmas? Chapter 1, The Perfect Christmas. Contrary to popular belief, Christmas is not only for kids and families, neither is it a holiday only for Christians, despite the fact that it's celebrated birthday of Christ. Many of my agnostic friends are the most enthusiastic revelers I know. Christmas is not even a single day, but a natural cycle that begins as the sun moves farther from the earth. The days shorten, leaves fall, and temperatures drop. It concludes as we celebrate on Christmas Day a safe passage into the winter months. The whole cycle takes about 8 weeks. It's hard to appreciate Christmas as a natural event without understanding why we are drawn to celebrate winter. Long before the birth of Christ, people celebrated the winter solstice, the first day of winter, in much the same way as we celebrate Christmas, by making long-term preparations, then celebrating with song and music, prayers, and feasts that brought comfort and joy. Solstice, which falls in mid-December, is the day that marks the beginning of winter. With only 9 hours of light, it is the shortest day of the year. It made sense to celebrate the darkest day as a turning point in the seasons. Everything was bound to get better from that point on. The days would get longer and warmer. With the gradual return of the sun and light, people could set their hopes on another spring, new life would come. Fading days, lengthening nights, and hardening fields conspire to bring on an overwhelming sense of loss and weariness, even if you've been through it before. Imagine what early humans must have felt as they watched the world grow so dark without knowing for sure that the light would ever return and that life on earth would indeed continue. When I feel the anxiety of having only so many shopping days left, I imagine how it must have felt to think the world was about to collapse into total blackness, and it puts my problem into perspective. The wonderful irony is that the fear of what is to come and the burden of carrying that fear has always been relieved by our preparations to meet it. Therein lies the attraction of making ready for and celebrating Christmas. The Christmas season is one of the letting go of winter anxieties, even though tough times feel scary. Christmas Day is about finding out there's nothing to be afraid of, life and renewal is on the way. What is the perfect Christmas? Modern conventions give us an excellent outline that allows each of us to plan Christmas in a way that will guarantee a safe and joyous passage into the new year. We spend weeks preparing for a celebration that takes place in the home or gathering place of loved ones. There's a decorated tree, branch, a wreath to symbolize hope and new growth, candles and lights to symbolize the ability to confront darkness and anticipate the return of light. Greeting cards and shared food and pledges or toasts. Of love and caring. There are gifts to make us feel more generous and warm when we give and delighted when we receive. And there are religious ceremonies, carols, and processions to commemorate the life-affirming relationship among God, earth, and people. The perfect Christmas, however, does not require all these familiar customs and trimmings, nor does it need to mimic the one Charles Dickens popularized: warm, polished oak mantels and balustrades laden with fresh greenery and candles, tables set with crystal and fine china, and aromas of roasting meats and baked pies wafting from the kitchen. The perfect Christmas is the one that you create for yourself, drawing from your own memories, dreams, and inclinations. It is a celebration that is uniquely yours, with or without Santas on the roof or garlands on the banister, with or without chestnuts roasting and all the conventions of Christmas perfectly in place. This sounds simplistic, but so often people head full speed into Christmas with checkbook or credit card waving, trying to recreate the ideal Christmas, a carbon copy of scenes from movies, Currier knives or Norman Rockwell paintings, or table settings from fancy food magazines. By the end of the holidays, they feel exhausted, distracted, and then touched by what has happened, instead of changed and hopeful. The perfect Christmas is like a well-made play. The structure is fairly standard, but the content and substance is full of character and plot that is drawn from the deepest and most personal part of your life, your own memory and dreams. If you have never sat down to think about what memories you can use in order to dream your plan for Christmas, now is the time to do it. Charles Dickens once wrote, "My thoughts are drawn back by a fascination which I do not care to resist, to my own childhood." I begin to consider what we all remember best upon the branches of the Christmas tree of our own young Christmas days by which we climbed to real life. Following a checklist, even checklist for a perfect Christmas, will not bring your holiday to life. Before planning the event or even thinking about an organizational checklist, search out and claim for what for you is at the heart of Christmas. That heart, whatever it is, lies in memory and upon the branches of your own young Christmases. Honoring memories and creating traditions. No matter who you are, a newlywed, an older wed, a mom or dad, single person living alone or with your significant other, or a member of a non-traditional family with 2 single adults and children, promise yourself you'll sit quietly for at least 15 minutes and dream about Christmas past. Have a notebook close by. It's best to do this sometime in late October before anyone has approached you about the holidays. Memories. Close your eyes and allow memories of your own past Christmases to play before you like a camera passing in slow motion over faces and rooms, outdoors, indoors, day and night. Linger on the memories that made one particular Christmas, or even just a moment at one. Christmas is positive and spirited experience. Perhaps when you were a child, a visiting relative gave you a new book and read to you on Christmas night. Stay with that memory until you can feel the quiet, reassuring love and the pleasure of being read to. Write it down. Then go back to collect more memories. Stay with each memory long enough to understand what about it still has meaning for you. Then write down a description of your memory in your notebook. Continue to do this until you have a list of important memories. The moment of mailing the letter to Santa, learn all the words to the first Noel. The smell of a favorite aunt's perfume, hearing the applause after your appearance in the school play, lighting the candle of the Advent wreath, searching for the perfect tree, cutting it, buying it, strapping it to the car, and enjoying its fragrance all the way home, leaving a note for Santa and actually finding it gone in the morning. Feeling the leap in your heart on Christmas morning when presents that weren't there when you went to bed appeared miraculously under the tree. The plan. Now you have a list of positive memories. If other people in your life, kids included, have done this exercise, you'll find that you have a lot of memories to work with. Here are some examples. The pleasure of being read to, decorating cookies and packaging them up for gifts, sledding in the snow, putting the tinsel on the tree, singing with friends in the school choir, paints and picture books, warm socks, watching It's a Wonderful Life, midnight mass and choir procession on Christmas Eve, caroling at the rest home with friends, a special Christmas Eve dinner, neighbors coming over the day after, horseback riding in the snow, playing basketball in the deserted schoolyard, getting to keep the wishbone, snowball fights with cousins, taking toys to the kids at the hospital. Let your memories guide you in making plans. You may not make an exact recreation of Christmases past, but the joy of the memories will help shape your plans for the holidays. For example, you might not have time to bake cookies, decorate cookies with children. Even so, you and the children can go to the church bake sale, select cookies, pack some in colorful tins for friends. Maybe you do have time for one gingerbread house project, or perhaps this year your mother would like to visit and bake cookies with the kids. Right there are 3 ideas to consider. Pick one and plan it into your holiday. Perhaps it was always your job to put the angel on the tree because you were the oldest, youngest, whatever, do what you want to pass on the tradition. If they're consciously honored, all these positive reflections from the past can bring heart and energy to your Christmas plans. Help them take shape and make them shimmer with excitement and hope. Do this exercise each year. Memories of your recent Christmases can transform each new celebration. Who knows, a memory of a family bike ride can lead to a Christmas time train trek through the Canadian Rockies. It's time to let your memories breathe and glisten again. Hang them on the branches of your new tree. So that's chapter 1 of the checklist for a perfect Christmas, Judith Blahnik. Again, that's published by DoubleDay, copyrighted in 1996. And we'll work on chapter 2 another time, guys. We'll give some shout outs. Everyone, welcome. Hello, Kyler. Hello, Deirdre. Hello, Mukesh. Hi, Madass. So, everyone stay tuned for chapter 2. Have a lovely evening. Thanks for joining.